nothing but fishing thing.
Hello again, welcome to another Nothing But Fishing. As you can probably see from the title and the pan round, I'm at Longleat again, back up on Top Lake. It's 6:15 now. I got here probably about 1:30. Started off down on Middle Lake because this lake was absolutely rammed. So unfortunately I had to go down there, set everything up, got the bivvy up, everything's set for the night. But the fish weren't having it really. It was just as dead down there as it was up here. Then I walked round and this lake was pretty much empty, so everyone had gone home. So I've set up in the dam swim, I think it's called, or it's down by the dam. Again, from advice, people have said this is a good end to be. Different tactics. Left rod I've put down the dam, quite close in with some better pellet around it. Right rod is going straight out into mid-water, probably 30 foot out. I've probably put about half a kilo to a kilo of bait out on top of that one. And yeah, so feeling quite confident. I'm here for the night. I'm here till probably early to mid-afternoon tomorrow. I got work in the evening, so it won't be too late. So hopefully we'll pick up a few towards the evening and night and morning, because it's been so hot today, absolutely boiling. If you remember from the last episode, towards the end, me and Ben just couldn't hack it anymore. It's been like that pretty much all day. But just waiting for it to cool down. It's still quite hot now and it's 6:15, so hopefully it'll start to cool. Fish will go down and start feeding because they've been on the top all day. So yeah, fingers crossed we'll have a few. Right, it's now 8:20. Sun's slowly going down, getting into the evening. I had a touch on my right rod probably about half an hour ago. The line went tight and I had a few beeps. But nothing came of it, so recast the rod just in case anything had happened. Put out quite a lot of boilies and pellet on the right rod. Left rod still just left in the margin. So quite a bit of bait out, but a lot more on the right rod, so trying two different tactics basically. On the right rod I've got milky minnow, well, actually both rods, milky minnow wafters. That seemed to work well last time, so trying the same baits. So yeah, hopefully we'll have a fish soon as it's getting into the evening. I'm feeling quite confident I will. I think there's someone to the right of me and I think someone else further down the lake, but when I got here the lake was full, so it's quite nice having not many people on here. And it shouldn't be too cold tonight. It's meant to be sort of high doubles. So it shouldn't be too uncomfortable, and hopefully we'll pick up a few. Well, the light is fading fast. It's probably, well, it's 8:20, so probably got about 20 minutes, half an hour of light left till it starts getting a bit too dark. Just recast the right rod, making sure everything's set for the night. Left rod had a touch on probably about 10 minutes ago, so left that as it is, but put more bait out on both spots ready for the night. and hopefully we'll pick one or two off. It should happen as this temperature's dropped now, because in the day there was no chance, but now it's cooler, starting to get into night. Hopefully the fish will start feeding, so fingers crossed, they'll get their heads down. Next time you see me, I'll have a fish in my hands hopefully. Right, it's about 4:15. I just had a take on the left rod, which was down in the margin. To explain, where I was fishing, it was kind of just off a bit of weed, and I had a few beeps, and it was a bit of a take. I'm not entirely sure what it was, but I struck into it anyway, and it was locked solid in the weed, so it literally must have picked up the bait, swam in the weed, dumped it, and swam off. So and luckily I've lost one. I was a bit worried that I wasn't going to wake up, because whenever I've come night fishing I've never been able to sleep very well, but I was straight up when that went off, so at least I know that I do wake up when I'm asleep. It's just a shame that I lost it, so I've put it back out where it was, and bit gutted that I lost that. Anyway, back out, let's hopefully have something soon. There we are. It's about 4 in the morning, and this one's gone off. My alarm actually wasn't working, so I just heard the drag start going. Luckily I was still awake after losing that other fish. 14.8 this one, and that came off the right rod, and probably the most expensive fish, because my rod has just snapped clean in two. It went straight into a weed bed, and I was trying to pull it out, and it was a rod which already had a weakness, where one of my mates had hit it with a stone once right down by the reel, and midway playing it, it snapped just above the reel. So just managed to get him in with about 10 kilos of weed around it. But yeah, so I'll have to buy a new rod. I'm fishing with one rod now for the rest of the session. Not ideal, but a fish. Let's get him back. There we go, look. That's where it snapped clean in two, right down by the base. And yeah, that's right where a stone hit the rod one time. And this obviously just completely weakened it. You can just about see on this bit where the stone hit. And so I had to end up playing a fish, hold it onto this section, and then grab the line. Shit happens. There we go then. My first 20 out of this lake. It's about 20 to 6 in the morning, and £20 3 ounce. So only just, but suddenly makes snapping a rod a little easier to cope with when you got a fish like that. Beautiful. See if I can show you the other side. And there's the other side. £20 3 ounce. And that came off the margin rod this time. So that's a fish off each spot. Brilliant. Made up with that. Let's get him back. About 6:30 in the morning now. As you saw, had two, lost one, and a rod snapped, so bit of an eventful night. Now fishing with one rod in the margin where I had that 20, so I don't really mind too much I snapped the rod. One, because I've had some nice fish, and two, it's 40 quid, so it's not going to cost much to replace. Still not ideal, but yeah, I'm fishing one rod from now on, and as I say, keeping it in the margin, focusing on one spot. Hopefully that'll work. The lad next to me has just had one, and it was crapping out my bait all over the place, so, and that was probably off my mid-water spot where I put out loads of the banana nut crunch boilie. So yeah, it's quite promising that they're eating it. I had the fish on milky minnow wafters, so that's what I'm using again, and I've had a big problem with weed in this swim. The fish that I had, the rod snapped, it went into dense weed, and I probably had to clear about 10 kilos of weed off the fish once I got it to the net. So not ideal, and the left one again went quite solid in weed. But the good thing about Canadian weed is it breaks quite easily, so it was alright to get it through. But rods also break quite easily with Canadian weed, so there you go. Yeah, that's about it. It's meant to get quite hot again today, but overcast and quite sort of muggy, I would have thought. But at the moment it's perfect conditions. It's overcast, quite cool, and I got the wind blowing down this end. I mean, perfect conditions for fishing. So hopefully I'll have some more. Right, it's 12:20. I actually have a ticket until 3, but I'm not feeling it anymore. Just fishing one rod to start with is not giving me as much confidence. I had a beat probably about an hour and a half ago, and that's all. That's literally the only thing I've had. Doesn't look like there's anything in the margin, and because it's quite warm again, I would imagine all the fish have buggered off, gone at the top or something, on the top and everything, so it's not looking too great. So rod will probably be one of the last things to come in, but most things are packed up now anyway, so same as always, if I have some I'll show you, but it's not looking that way. So cheers for watching, see you again, and add me on Facebook, Nuffinbutfishing, like, subscribe, comment, stuff.